President Trump asking for a major increase in funding the military while proposing a commensurate cut in non-military spending. It would fulfill another campaign promise. It's already getting pushback on the Hill behind me just one day before his big address, his first address before lawmakers. We have Fox team coverage from the White House tonight. Kevin Corke in the briefing room gets into the details of the proposals. But Chief White House correspondent John Roberts starts us off tonight with the latest developments from the North Lawn. Good evening, John.
Good evening to you, Brett. At event after event on the campaign trail, then candidate Donald Trump pledged to rebuild the U.S. military into a fighting machine that no nation would ever dare challenge. Today, he pledged to put the taxpayers' money where his mouth is.
Unveiling his budget blueprint to the National Governors Association today, the president pledged an additional $54 billion for the Pentagon next year, an increase of nearly 10% over the current budget.
It will include a historic increase in defense spending to rebuild the depleted military of the United States of America at a time we most need it.
In his address to a joint session of Congress, President Trump will outline his plans to rebuild the military, increase border security, and reaffirm his yet-to-be-announced plans to take care of America's veterans. He'll also highlight economic opportunity based on regulatory reform, education, job training, and his 1-2 big-ticket items to repeal and replace Obamacare and dramatically reform the tax code.
The tax cut is going to be major. It's going to be simple. And the whole tax plan is wonderful, but I can't do it until we do health care, because we have to know what the health care is going to cost, and statutorily that's the way it is.
As the president prepares his speech and his budget, the White House was on defense today after it was revealed officials enlisted the chairman of the Congressional Intelligence Committees and the CIA director to refute reports of contact between Trump campaign staffers and Russian officials. After an intelligence briefing, Republican Congressman Devin Nunes called a reporter to shoot down the Russia story. He insisted he did nothing improper.
I was very clear with all of you about what I thought about that New York Times story. This was way in advance of the White House sending me one phone number, and I still don't understand what would be the problem of the White House sending me a number of a press person to call. Is it the whole point of the press to be transparent?
Congressman Adam Schiff, the ranking Democrat on the House committee, argued this is exactly the reason why an independent investigator must be appointed to look into the whole issue.
And for the White House to be seeking help from the intelligence leadership, either at CIA, FBI, or elsewhere, to knock down stories it doesn't like, is completely inappropriate.
Democrats insisting on an independent investigation got support from one Republican.
I want an investigation because I want this administration to be different than the last one that basically didn't want investigations of anything.
And a former president argued the nation needs to know exactly what went on, but stopped short of asking for an outside investigator.
I've never been a lawyer. I'm not sure the right avenue to take. I am sure, though, that question needs to be answered.
And the White House continues to go after leaks that are plaguing the president. Last week, Sean Spicer called together participants of a meeting where information leaked to look at their smartphones for evidence of applications that could be used to hide communications with journalists. Spicer reminded staffers that such apps run afoul of the Presidential Records Act. He was also looking for a couple of phone numbers associated with journalists, but officials won't say whether he identified any leakers yet. Brett?
More on all this with the panel. John Roberts live on the North Lawn. John, thank you.